Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. If you follow this channel, you know I'm buying a 2022 Toyota Tundra. And it was interesting, last week I ran a story from Consumer Reports saying that the new Tundra will be less reliable than the old Tundra. Okay. Good to know my new truck will be less reliable. No, it's not. So in this video, let's talk about what Consumer Reports found, what they think is going to happen with the 2022 Toyota Tundra. And I'm going to share some insights, kind of a little behind the scenes. I can't show you everything on Consumer Reports because of the agreement I made with them. But I kind of want to point out a couple things that, well, gave me some pause. Let's go ahead and get to the screen and talk about what the story is, and I kind of go through some details with you. Okay, this story was written last week by Managing Editor Jill Simonello. She saw that the Consumer Reports put out their annual 2022 full-size truck reliability. Is something to do every year, and they use what's called predictive analysis based on all the responses they get from consumers. Now, predictive reliability always gets a lot of conversation in the comments. I'll say this: we have to have something. You can't just wonder if a truck's gonna be reliable. You have to have something to go to dealership and say, I feel good about my purchase, I feel like the truck's gonna be reliable, and I use multiple sources, carcomplaints.com, which you've used in the site quite a bit, and Consumer Reports. You got to have something going in there. And predictive reliability sometimes makes sense, sometimes doesn't. And so I'll let you guys argue it out below, but I'm just telling you that you have to have something. We have to have some gauge of reliability. Past performance doesn't always dictate future performance, but you got to have some sort of gauge to start with. And so what they do is they look at the past of responses, what's covered different model years, and look at what's new in the trucks, and then they kind of gauge where they think reliability is going to be. In this case, we have the Toyota Tundra is knocked off top of list. Now, we use the word tumbles in our headline, and people got all upset about this. But the reality of things is the Toyota Tundra dominated. If you look back on 2021, full-size Toyota Tundra. Look back in 2020, full-size trucks, it's the Tundra. Look back in 2019, 18, 17, it's all the Toyota Tundra. So for them not to be top of the list, and actually going down to a ranking of 3 out of 5, which is what Consumer Reports predicts that reliability of that truck's going to be, that's a huge hit for a model that was like 5 of 5, 5 of 5, 5 of 5, and now 3 of 5. I mean, that's a big difference, especially Consumer Reports, because they only offer 5 different options there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as far as predictive reliability. You're not doing like a score of 100, which is what they do elsewhere. This is just predictive reliability. And so looking at this, they knocked the Tundra down. Very interestingly, they said the Ram 1500 is the only truck they recommend for this model year as far as long-term reliability. It's interesting because I would go back to the 2021 that Joe wrote. I thought I wrote it. Joe wrote it. And who's on the bottom? Ram. 2020 most reliable trucks. Who's on the bottom? Ram. So for Ram to go from the 6th place to the 1st place, now our rankings included car complaints, stuff like as included as Consumer Reports. But if you look, if I'd love to click these links for you, show you the different links for different models. I can't show you because it's behind the scenes information. I will tell you that Ram, from a owner reliability survey standpoint, it's terrible. I'm just shocked by this because Consumer Reports' own report, if you're a member, go log in, check this out. The owner reliability rankings for that truck are poor. It's consistently poor. Chevy's consistently poor. Ford's back and forth. Tundra has been very consistent positive from owners' responses to the survey. So I find it fascinating that a truck that has done so poorly for years has now become the most reliable truck, according to Consumer Reports. According to Consumer Reports. Now they also point out something that's interesting. Consumer Reports says, and Jake Fisher says that it's a pretty big redesign, and new designs tend to hurt reliability. I found that interesting because there's always this thought process when you're buying a truck: don't buy the first-year model. Don't buy the first-year model. Only idiots buy the first-year model. And I always find that interesting for 2 reasons. Number one, if nobody buys the first model year of a truck, then how do you get used trucks? Like, all these people are like, I'm not going to buy the first model year. I'm going to wait a couple years, and then I'm going to buy the used one. Well, if nobody buys a new one, there won't be any used ones. So obviously, people have to buy the first generation of the truck. They have to buy the first edition of the truck. Now, last year, I bought the 2021 Ford F-50, which was a new generation of the truck. I mean, it's pretty much, I wouldn't say full ground-up redesign, but had lots of new features. I had the power onboard generator, I had zone lighting software features, Had the new bigger screen, the XLT did. I had a lot of new features in that truck, and I didn't have, I mean, I had a few issues, but nothing that was like, oh my God, it broke down the side of the road. That never happened. And I find it fascinating because if you look at the past model years, again, if you're a Consumer Reports member, go and look at this stuff. So in 2019, when the Ram 1500 came out, the owner's reliability report for 2019 to 2020 was the same. Nothing changed. 18, 19, 20 was the same. Ford, if you pulled up this Ford F50, looking at owner reliability reports, when the new one came out in 21, the reliability was kind of back and forth. It's always been back and forth with Ford. Chevy, same idea. When the 2019 model came out, the full redesign, the owner reliability rankings were the same from 18, 19, and 20. So nothing changed with the new model year. And what's really interesting is Nissan, the Nissan Titan, for whatever reason, Consumer Reports doesn't have diddly on this truck. And they don't have any, apparently nobody at Consumer Reports owns a Nissan Titan. So they have no owner reliability. However, if you go to carcomplaints.com and NHTSA and look up recalls like that, like we've done in years past, you will see a Nissan Titan that's actually a pretty reliable truck. So I find it fascinating that the Nissan Titan doesn't get mentioned at all as far as recommended vehicle when it's been out for a while. It's just like Ram, nothing's really changed with it. The powertrain's been pretty solid. I haven't heard a lot of complaints. The XD, I've heard some complaints, but not the half-ton. So I just find it really interesting. So I just thought I'd share with you guys today a little bit of grain of salt when I read this kind of stuff, but I thought I'd share the information with you that if you are shopping for the new 2022 Tundra like I am, there are a lot of changes to this truck. The powertrain's is completely different. The transmission is going to be used in different vehicles, so I'm not so concerned with that. The infotainment screen is brand new. Lexus NX has the first one. This is the next one. So I anticipate some software glitches. It's what's going to happen. But I find it just fascinating that they're going to downgrade the truck that's been the most reliable truck forever based on what? Because when I look at the information on Consumer Reports, it doesn't match up what I'm seeing from them. But maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm completely biased because I'm buying the truck. That's always possible. But I just thought, like I said, I thought I'd share with you guys and let you guys know what the details are on why it got bashed and why it tumbled and all the kind of words we want to use with that stuff, all the clickbait words we have to use these days because of the way the internet works. But I just thought it was interesting that you could see that, you know, all these new changes definitely give people some pause. And it definitely gives me some pause, right? But, you know, I'm not going to have it forever. I want to drive it, buy it, see what the new issues are, get that, you know, first ownership year or so of new issues, because that's usually when things crop up right away, and then you got to wait till year 3, 4, or 5 to see bigger issues down the road. But when you get to that point, usually the powertrain is being updated, changed. It's always an evolution thing. But anyways, put your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Check this video out over here, website down below. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you down the road.